Hello, welcome back. Cameron Seats here, the Hawaiian Trader. Wanted to send out another video just to, again, give you some free information and some help. But this topic that I want to talk about is extremely interesting, and it's one that we hear about all the time in investing, and that is talking about who you should be listening to. Now, obviously, you're listening to a video with me, and so I'm sharing some of my thoughts, and I'm sharing some of my feelings and introducing to the people that I know and talk to. But that seems to be the natural path. See, we're retail investors. Retail investors typically don't have access to certain individuals. Like, most people can't go out there and say, how does the market really work? And call somebody who's working on Wall Street and say, can you explain how things work? How do bonds work? How do different products work, like the futures market? An option contract, how does that actually work? Nobody has these relationships. The thing that I want to bring to everybody here is I want to be able to share the contacts that I've made and the people that I've come in contact with. And I think it's something we have to talk about, because I've said this many, many times that I feel very fortunate that I've been able to meet so many individuals in this industry. And a lot of this just because of the fact that I've had a lot of relationships with a number of different companies. I'm going to put a list here of all the different companies that I've been able to work with, associate with, contract and teach for, help create content, help enrollment. I mean, there's so many different things that I've been able to do in this industry. And with that knowledge and background comes a lot of information, tips that I think everyone needs to know. And that's one of the reasons why I want to put this video together. But let me give you some, I want to make sure that I do give you some value here, and I do teach you a couple of things since I do have you here with me. First thing I want to talk to you about is I placed a video on here a little while ago that talked about the difference between stock and the difference between options. So I highly encourage you to watch that. I'll put the link in the description down below so you can watch that. But let me talk to you a little bit more about that concept and a little bit more about that idea, because one of the things that we did not get into in that video is I didn't talk too much about we talked a little bit about the benefits of how stock versus options work, but I didn't talk very much about why there's this misunderstanding in the market about it. And let me explain this to you. What it has to do with directly is what is traditionally known as or seen in this market as traditional, conventional, conservative versus radical, non-conventional, and risky. Now, the reason why this whole conversation keeps being had is because this little factor called time. And I put out a video about this as well called duration. It's like, why are traders talking about duration? And the reason why is when you add the aspect of time, there's this element that cannot be controlled. Time cannot be controlled. So for example, if I look at a specific stock price and I say, hey, I think the stock's going to run up 40 points, like, great, fantastic. I might actually be right. When is the question? How long is it going to take to run 40 points? 1 week, 1 day, 1 year? How long is that going to take? And what kind of a financial position can I take? What product can I buy, sell, be a part of to take advantage of that? Now, that's where the lines get blurred and everyone starts to disagree. Different areas of the market, different parts, whether you're a hedge fund manager or whether you're a financial planner or you're a retail investor or an option trader or a market maker on the floor, everyone plays a different role in this game. And so we have different opinions on how we think we could take advantage of something like that. Now, what's interesting is most people don't know that. Most people think, and it makes sense to me too, if I were to just simply look at this and say, how does this all work? It just makes sense to me that there should be this one universal way for all of us to know the one way how it works. And the truth is that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's just not how you put it together. There's just so many different variables. So how was someone like you or I supposed to be able to do that? Well, we first of all start by, number one, just deciding what is it that you want to do. So am I looking for investments? And maybe you've decided to get into the market. Am I looking for investment because I want to produce a lot of income? So that's my goal. I'm reading all these self-help books. I'm starting my new business. I'm getting into SEO and all this internet stuff. Technology is taking over. I'm trying to build and grow a business rapidly and dramatically to be wealthy, to create, and by the way, you decide what wealth means. I'm not defining it. I'm just saying that's what we're trying to create. Now, If that's what you're trying to do, there's a very specific tool that can actually accomplish that. But let's say that you're retired or semi-retired and you're sitting there saying, at this point, I would just love to get 5% a year, just as an example. I just want to make a certain percentage a year. That's all I want to be able to do. Now, that's a common goal. I think a lot of people have that goal. But that also means by you saying that you're more conservative. Trading a retirement account or investing in a retirement account traditionally is something that needs to be, we need to be cautious with it. If you lost your whole retirement, that would wreck you financially. You would file bankruptcy. You would be in a world of hurt. And so depending on what you're trying to accomplish, there's a vehicle for that as well. What is interesting, in my opinion, is I think options can do both. I think it's versatile enough and we can blend it with some different products to make it work for everybody. But the first thing we have to decide is, what are you trying to accomplish? What do you need to do? And is there a way to get that to happen, or a way to make that work? And the answer is typically yes, there is a way. I'm hoping that the relationships that I bring to you, the people that I put in front of you, I may not have all the answers, but maybe they will. Maybe they're going to be able to help you do that. So the first thing I would sit down the first thing I do is sit down with a piece of paper and write down, what is the purpose of even exploring the idea of investing? Because I'm not a financial planner. I'm not licensed to give anybody any kind of financial help or guidance. That's not what I do. I purely give free education. You do with that education what you want. But maybe in that pursuit of trying to find education, maybe I can put somebody in front of you that speaks directly to you with directly the information that you need and the education that you need. And that's what I'm hoping. I don't have the answers to everything, but I feel like within the circle of relationships that I have, somebody here is going to have that. And I hope that you find that to be the answer and the key to what you're looking for. Thanks for joining me.